Last year, I kind of calculated how much money I made, and it was pretty shocking to say the least. I made more money than any realtor in my local market by far. There are a couple in there that have teams and stuff like that. But like if I look at a singular realtor in my area that I live in, there's pretty much not one person who has made more money than me as a realtor or real estate agent. And I look at the county I live in, the area where I locally wholesale, and there's not one of those type of people. And it was kind of a shocking thing when I kind of calculated it. If I looked at the top three most paid realtors in the biggest metro near me, which is Miami, Florida, I would be the top three realtors. Like if my income was paid like a realtor, I would be the top three realtors in Miami, Florida. And like these are people doing like 300-400 million dollar volumes, right? They get their 2-3%, right? You go into the commercial side, it gets even crazier. And it kind of got me thinking about how insane the amount of money I make, right? It feels illegal how I make this much money wholesaling real estate from my couch, from my living room, behind a computer, around the world. And one really cool thing about what I do every single day, right, is I'm able to wholesale real estate. So like if I want to go to Cabo, right, I can make $1 million in assignment fees in Cabo just chilling there for as long as I want to do, right? If I keep me chilling in Cabo and doing a listing, right, or doing any of these things like a typical realtor does. And the really cool thing about this, right, it's literally insane to me, right, that so many wholesalers think that, oh, being the real estate agent is the coolest thing to do. And the honest truth is it feels illegal to make this much money wholesaling real estate, but you are doing it and you can make a stupid amount of money doing this. And I'm going to show you exactly today how to make so much money in wholesaling real estate. It feels illegal. It feels like you shouldn't be doing it. And a lot of people think you are like this rich mob guy. That's the best way I can describe it, right? So we got the mob fit today. But it's kind of funny that it does feel illegal to make this much money wholesaling real estate because you can basically do it anywhere. You can turn it into a system and you just make a ton of money and you tell people, I'm on real estate. You don't get specific because you don't want to, you get to the point where you just don't want to explain yourself every single time. When, I was at like Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving party with, a bunch of people. And it's just like, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, yeah, I do real estate. And they're like, well, that's, you got a pretty nice place. I'm like, I just did real estate, it's like saying I'm in waste management, Sopranos reference, but like, it feels illegal what I'm doing because you make so much money of it and you just can make a process just finding discounted properties and assigning them to cash buyers and just flipping paper on real estate. The best part about it is you do it so fast. Like, guys, in the next 30 days, I'm going to show you exactly a system today of how you can go out here and close 50, 60, 70 grand, right? I mean, a lot of people, if you're going to just one deal, maybe it's 10, 15, 20 grand. But like it feels illegal to make 20 grand in a month at 18 years old without spending any money, right? But I'm going to show you exactly tell you how you can do this step by step in a easy, simple, systematic type of process where you can get rich wholesaling real estate. The truth is most people don't know how to do it. And there's really three key points and three key things you need to be doing to start making a stupid amount of money wholesaling. So let's talk about key point number one, finding discounted properties. I think this is the point where a lot of people really underestimate this, right? They really don't think about it like this. But the number one reason we get money in wholesaling, right? The number one reason I'll make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 on a wholesaling real estate deal is because I'm just able to get a really, really, really deeply discounted deal. I'm able to get a house under contract for way below what it's worth. That is 90% of the value that we present in wholesaling real estate because then we can go sell that, right? And when you sell something that's very valuable, it's easy to sell. Now, a lot of people pretend that we're these crazy salesmen in wholesaling real estate. And when you have a really good wholesaling deal, it doesn't feel like you're selling at all. It doesn't feel like you're a salesperson, right? It's like on a hot summer day and you have water, you're selling water bottles. You're not really selling somebody that they need water. It's hot. You're thirsty. You need the water, right? And the thing is, if it's really, really rainy and it's raining outside and everyone's got their water or whatever. It's like, it's hard to sell water there at the water park, right? And so the thing is, if we're able to just find the product, why I sound like a mobster today, Pablo Escobar, but no, I'm not. But if you were able to go out here and find deeply discounted properties, right? Everybody wants real estate, specifically the rich landlord and house flippers who can pay us these 20, 30, 40, $50,000 finder's fees, wholesaling real estate. But specifically, if we're able to just go out here and find the deal, the rest pretty much follow. And there's so many ways you can get started in wholesaling, right? You can go out here and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go out here and find the buyer first. You can find the buyer first. Depends if you're virtually doing it or not. I'd say virtual, try to probably find the buyer first. But if you're local, just get the deal. But what I want you to do if you're watching this is just find discounted properties. And I think the first lesson we have to know about finding discounted properties is going to be our time versus the amount of effort we're going to put out or put in. Because when you get started wholesaling real estate, you get this inundated process, right? You get this crazy, insane inundated process that's like, you can wholesale on market, you can do creative financing, you can do off market. There's all these different like things hitting you, right? Where it's like, what should we do? Like, how do we get started in this business? And the thing is, there's so many different ways, right? You can flip houses to make money in real estate. You can do creative financing. You can wholesale off market. Everyone's saying, "I'll be a multifamily guy, be the Section 8 dude," right? And you get all these things being thrown at you. And it all comes down to time versus effort. How much effort are you going to put out? How much time are you going to be putting in to actually start making money in real estate? And let's kind of go through it, right? How are you going to make 20 grand in a month flipping a house? Well, the big risk, right? And so the one thing I want to tell you is like, ADHD, but like, let's look at all these different forms, right? We have flipping houses, creative finance, wholesaling houses, multifamily, right? Let's look at risk versus reward. All right. Let's talk about this. Flipping a house. I'm gonna have to take up debt if I have no money to go flip this house. What's the risk of that? Well, I could lose 40 grand and now I'm severely in debt, credit cards and all these terrible things. And yeah, the market can go tank tomorrow. Well, yeah, that's a lot of risk. I could probably lose my shirt on that. Let's not do that, right? So yeah, we can lose a lot of money flipping a house, right? Especially if I'm really young and I make a ton of money, right? So yeah, that's not fun. Yeah, let's not do that. Okay. Yeah, no. Let's not do that. Okay. Okay, creative financing. Creative financing is cool. You could definitely make a lot of money in the long term, but are you going to make the money quick? Like in 30 days? Probably not. You maybe make 3 or 4 grand wholesaling creative deal. Probably not the best vibe here. Now we kind of look at wholesaling real estate. I mean, I made $20,000 at 17. Pretty cool. Let's look at multifamily. Like, okay, guys, one of my favorite things to do on social media is to go out here and look at these creative multifamily specialist type dudes. It's like, hey, you know what? You should get a 200 unit door property. I'm like, okay, well, how do you get started? Well, first you need funding. Funding. Bro, it's going to take me like 3 or 4 months to even get some funding if I even got the deal. And so it's like, it's not that good, especially as a starter, right? You could kind of get in the long-term play, the development play, but like most of multifamily is getting funding for it. And you're basically a glorified hedge fund at that point. Probably not the best route. So I always think wholesaling real estate is the best route, right? Now, to find these discounted properties, especially off market, right? We're going to go off market. As MLS, I'll give the amount of time you put in, the amount of time you get your teeth kicked in, the amount of knowledge, the amount of risk and reward of your time. Off market houses that are not on the market, that are just regular houses, that's what we're going to do. Okay. We're going to wholesale single family off market homes. Now, there are currently 3 ways to go find these type of finding deals, right? You can get a paid list. You can pay for data. You can go out here and get it for free, right? Or you can earn the list. And so you can go pay for a software like X Leads, go pull lists, go crazy. You can go here for free and go to like government lists, which I absolutely love government lists, which are like pre-foreclosures, probates, fire damage properties, water shutoffs, whatever you want to call them, right? Those are definitely really good ways to find wholesaling deals. But probably one of my favorite ways that I'm probably going to push you towards right now are earned lists. And more specifically, lists that no one can buy or just find online. So a pre-foreclosure list, I go to XLeads, get a pre-foreclosure list like that, right? Pretty simple, right? And it kind of sucks is XLeads has 1,000 free skip traces on the trials now. So everyone gets 1,000 free skips. So skip tracing is kind of free to everyone now. So that sucks. Also good for you. Go try it out. But okay, well, dang. Well, what about a free list? Well, the cat's kind of out of the bag. We have enough people that have joined the wholesaling community in our course that know, unfortunately, that you can kind of learn wholesaling real estate for free, right? You can get code violations. There's no secret that you can go to the arrest record list now. And the problem is because I have so many people following me and watching me that a lot of people are doing it. And so what I always lean back here on to find wholesaling deals that are pretty simple and easy is just an earned list. So a list that you just can't go get from the government, a list that you just can't go use a software for, right? A list that you actually have to go out here and really kick your teeth in. This is going to be what I call an earned list. And the number one earned list right now is drawing for dollars. And I know, oh, drawing for dollars, there he goes again. But like, guys, just get in your car, look for an ugly house. Like anything that seems like it's ugly, go to freewholesaling.com. We'll teach you how to do it right there. But like, that's how you do it. Or heck, even crazier, like go to the pre-foreclosure list, right? And just start putting sticky notes on the doors. Pretty simple. Heck, if you just want like a route planner, you go to XLeads, you get a free trial, get in the Ninja mode. Ninja mode will show you a route to do, and you get it for free, right? But like, just put sticky notes on houses. Costs no money. Pretty simple to do. You'll get inbound leads using Google Voice, and you're going to be good to go. The craziest thing about this is paid free or earned lists. Which one are best? And one thing I could tell you is I would probably lean towards earned lists right now. I think free lists are amazing, and they are definitely one of the best strategies for any beginner. But most likely, just get an earned list. Like I honestly, like thinking about it right now, you just got to go out here and find somebody that no one else can find, and you'll make the money. The riches are in the niches, right? Everyone's always said that. And that's a great way to find wholesaling deals now. Again, if you want to learn more of a free wholesaling course called freewholesaling.com, shows you how to do it absolutely for free. That's what I'd recommend. Now, key number 2 here about how to start making stupid money wholesaling, right? Number 1 is just let me make this very clear, right? If you're just a guy who could find really good deals, like you're going to be fine. But the important part is being able to close them. And it's not the most important key right here, but it is a important role that I think a lot of people kind of they overlook. But like just being able to get those contracts signed and more specifically closing that motivated homeowner, right? And pretty much this process is just getting that contract signed. So most of these issues I have personally found are between people just not knowing what to say. It's not that you don't know, you can't close it or you get super nervous, because with the scripts we teach in freewholesaling.com, you're really not going to fail. I'm just being honest, like you're really not going to fail wholesaling, because if you just say the scripts and the secret is in the scripts, you're just going to sound natural talking to sellers. You're not going to fail. Just follow the script, you'll be good to go, right? My simple script with anybody that wants to sell their house, I always say MCTP, right? Motivation, condition, time frame, price. M, motivation. Hey, Mr. Seller, can you tell me a little bit about the property? C, condition. Hey, Mr. Seller, can you tell me more about the house? Like, can you tell me about the house, roof, AC, whatever? Hey, Mr. Seller, why are you looking to sell the property, right? That's going back to motivation one more time. If maybe you get C, then you go M. T, time frame. When are you looking to sell the house? And price, what price or what figure are you looking to get rid of the property for? Now, going again about that again, right? M, motivation. Why are you looking to sell the house? C, can you tell me more about the house? T, when are you looking to sell the house? And P, what ballpark are you looking to get rid of the house? Not sell, but get rid of the house, right? Having the right scripts is very important. Then going out here and just doing my offer script. I personally teach the good cop, bad cop approach. There's so many other ones. You can just do the standard low ball, the dollar bill method. Rick loves the scrunchy face, right? There's so many ones we teach in freewholesaling.com that really, there's like 5 or 6 different scripts to close a seller. You're really not going to lose on any of them. There's so many ways to close a seller that you're really not going to lose any way here. The only way you really lose in wholesaling is by just going through the course and just plugging your ears and saying la 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 and like not going through it. Because if you go through it and follow it to a T, This is a system that I've just tens of thousands of people have already been through that are doing deals, right? And the hundreds of thousands of people that go through the course on a daily basis. So it drives me crazy that so many people just don't know what to say. Now, on top of this, too, probably the most important key for number 2 here, but this is going out here and conditioning the seller. So one thing I can tell everybody watching this is if you're going to make an offer to somebody, and more specifically, you're trying to get the contract signed, what I think you should be doing, number 1, is making sure the seller is actually ready to make a decision on selling. So many people in acquisitions, they don't ask the seller, hey, are you ready to make a decision? Don't give an offer to someone that's not ready to make a decision selling it. I think that's one of the biggest issues I see in this industry, and the way that no one really teaches about closing a seller. So condition them, hey, Mr. Seller, are you ready to make a yes or no decision on selling the property before I give you an offer? Just don't want to waste your time or my time. Works butter smooth, always works. For Wholesaling.com, we got you kind of showing you how to do it right there. Now, key number 3 here, and a very, very important one, but selling discounted contracts to your hungry landlords and house flippers. Now, I did not put this out of context. I did not say this the wrong way, but let me make this very, 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 very clear. Your buyers in wholesaling real estate are either going to flip the property to make a profit, or they're going to look to rent out the property for a profit. You cannot do both. All right. You cannot be a landlord and flipper at the same time, which means you cannot flip the property for a profit, but also care about the rental. Like, you got to choose one. And most of these buyers are in these 2 categories. Now, you got kind of like me, where if it's a really, really good deal, I'll keep it as a rental. And if I don't want to keep it as a rental, I'll flip it if it's the right property. But usually a property in an area is really good for renting, and the other one's really good for flipping. You got to really figure out which one you want to do, right? But most importantly, guys, the skill of actually finding these sellers is a entire key number 1. And then the skill of closing the sellers is key number 2. But skill number 3 is just as important, is being able to find the buyers. So I do see a lot of people that go out here and they lock up a great deal, but they can't sell the deal. And the only reason you can't sell a wholesaling deal right now, especially in 2025, is you either, number 1, you just don't have enough buyers, right? Like, you have not contacted enough of them. That's your number 1 issue, right? There's 3, but like, if you're in the right market, you just haven't talked to enough buyers. That's problem number 1 for the vast majority. You call 1 or 2 buyers, they say no, or they don't talk to you, and I give up. Number 2 is you locked up the price too high, and the buyers don't want to buy it. And the cool part about that is you ask the buyer, well, hey, buyer, like, what price would you be at? I got to renegotiate this deal. And they'll say, oh, I need to be at 115. And you're at 130. Well, okay, try to renegotiate for 100,000. And then there's the third problem, which I don't think a lot of people have, but it's like, well, there's just not enough buyers in your market. If you're in like rural Kansas or in the middle of nowhere in Missouri, you probably have this problem. But I'm assuming that your population is decent, then you have enough buyers to talk to. But really, it's those main 2 issues that I've personally seen in wholesaling real estate. You either have not talked to enough buyers, or you have it locked up for too high. I'll tell it, you got to choose which one you have. If you're struggling, it's probably going to be, your main issue right now is going to be just locked it up for way too high, and you got to get renegotiated. Not that difficult to do. So just understand, that is a big key. Now, if you want to find more buyers, there's a lot of free tools and a lot of free ways to do it, right? I think Zillow for rents are probably one of my favorite ways to do it, because those are just in front of the most motivated, intense landlords possible. It's a great way to do it. Heck, you go out here on Facebook groups and find people claiming to be real estate investors and flippers and landlords. And you got to do some big vetting on them. You got to make sure that they're willing to actually give you an assignment fee. They are using your title company. They're good with all these things. They actually own. My rule is I want to make sure you own at least 2 properties. Like, just own at least 2 properties for you, even my buyer. All your good buyers are going to at least have that. Craigslist is another way, not my favorite. You can JV inside like the Discord. You can go on like live stream comments. So many things you can do. There's so many free dispo or dispositions tools that I really don't know how you're going to fail like doing this, right? On top of this too, there is paid dispositions tools, right? Number one, I'll tell you X Leads is definitely the cheapest and best option where you can go pull a list, export it, and then blast it out, email them, text them, whatever it is. X Leads is best for pulling a list, dispatching, it's all in one. Pretty cool, right? But yeah, those are your two ways to do it. Now, those are that's fundamentally the keys to make money in wholesaling real estate. But that just knowing what to do isn't enough for most people I found. Like just knowing what you got to do is not going to be the thing that's going to like, that's getting me to the promised land. That's getting me success, right? That's the thing. Honestly, I'll be completely 100 with you. I'll be completely honest. Just knowing it is half the battle. It's going out here and doing it. And that's the part of actually making money really fast that not a lot of people talk about. But when I look at somebody, and maybe I'm looking at you right now, what do you want? Like, why are you getting into wholesaling? Okay. Well, what price are you willing to do to get to that goal? And I don't think this is a conversation or a question that's asked enough in wholesaling real estate, but it is something you should be thinking about. So, for example, let me say this again. Why do you want to make 100 grand your first year in high school? Hey, I want to live by myself. I want to take care of my family. That's a great question. That's a great answer. Everyone wants to get rich though. What price are you willing to pay for that? I'll do anything. Well, if you're doing anything, why are you scrolling TikTok? Why are you sleeping in? Why are you being like, why are you feeling sorry about yourself? Why are you making excuses? So a lot of people say they're willing to pay the price, but most people aren't willing to pay the price. And that's the thing. The price that people say they'll pay versus what they actually pay is a lot different. And until you start putting your money where your mouth is, there will be no change. So if you really want to make a deal, you really want to change your life, you really want to actually get some real traction in your life, actually say what price you're willing to pay and pay it. Like be a man or woman of your word and stick with it. The vast majority of people that I know, they do not stick with their word when they say something. They do not say they're going to do something and then it gets done. You have to make this a habit. So if you tell yourself you're going to put 10, 15, 20 hours, that's what you're willing to pay. You're willing to get up early, you're willing to do the marketing, willing to pull a list, willing to call, text, whatever it is, do it. If you're just talking the talk, get out of here. Like, I don't want to hear it. You have to be willing to pay the price that you say for yourself. And most importantly, the best way to create this insane wholesaling business is to treat it like a machine, right? So you are not going to make money if you are not going out here and finding deals. And so again, it's inputs and outputs, right? So you got your raw inputs, right? You put that in the machine and it spits out money. What's the input we put in the machine? Well, technically it's going to be leads, right? Then we close the leads and then we sell the leads, right? That's kind of the wholesaling machine, the conveyor belt system left to right, if you really want to think about it like that. But like, you got to be able to find the deals. Marketing number one. Now everybody tells you, just go pay for leads. Well, I mean, that's a terrible idea. They're way too expensive. Spending $4 or $5 grand is not anyone's budget starting out. So that's a dumb idea. So it's like, what are you going to do? Well, there's a lot of free ways to find wholesaling deals. I'd probably tell everyone to go try to earn a list or go out here and get a free list. But the thing is, there's so many raw inputs that you can put in this business that just like, the gas ain't going to go far if you don't have enough gas in the tank. So example is, if you want to drive from LA to New York and you tell me, Zach, I want to drive from LA to New York with only a gallon of gas and you have a regular gas car, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think there's we can go to the smartest physicists, the smartest scientists in the world? How do we make you go from New York to LA on 1 gallon of gas and the car has 30 miles to the gallon? Right? And the average, 500-600 miles at most, right? You can go into a 3,000-mile journey. Guys, is there any way that you're going to be able to go from New York to LA with 1 gallon of gas? No. It's impossible. Like the physics don't work. There's not enough energy to propel you that much. Well, what if I refilled my tank 15, 20 times over 3 days? Oh yeah, you could definitely do that. Interesting. That's crazy. I gotta fill up the gas every 400 miles? Come on, man. Is there any way that's easier? I'm not saying that to sound like a crazy guy, but like that's literally what I hear. That's literally what I hear in my mind. how do I go from LA to New York on 1 gallon? Like, it ain't possible. You're going to have to work more. Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, going into a spaceship, I don't know what else to tell you. But like, the laws of wholesaling physics are the same thing. I'm a wholesaling physicist. I don't know. Is that a bad analogy? Maybe not. But like, you cannot go get your first deal by just sitting on your butt for an hour. And you could potentially do it. There's no guarantee. Now, if you go say, Zach, I'm going to call 1,000 probates in Springfield, Missouri. Honestly, kind of possible. Not going to lie. There's a very, very good chance you can do that. So that's always the thing. It's like, how many, if I had to go box Canelo Alvarez right now, right? How much training could I put in a year to beat him? There's not enough training, right? But if I started boxing since I was 5 years old and I had, these God-given skills and I was way bigger than him and I've been training since I was 5 years old, are my chances of being Canelo Alvarez higher or lower than is me just training for a year? Obviously, right? Well, what if he's 80 years old? Jake Paul, Mike Tyson situation, right? What are the chances I beat Canelo Alvarez if he's 80 and I'm 25 and I train, right? A lot higher, right? And so Canelo Alvarez will probably always whip my butt even if he's 90 years old. But I always like, what's the chance of me beating him? Higher or lower the more training I have? It's never a guarantee he's going to beat me. Maybe he throws a punch and tears his ACL and then boom, I win. Right? There's never a 0% chance. We call it a puncher's chance, right? But like the chance of me winning exponentially goes up the more I train. And that's always the thing about it, right? So all I'm trying to get you to do is let's increase our chance of getting a deal because there's always a shot. It's like the lottery. I love that analogy. Somebody called it the Zillow lottery the other day, like with FSBOs, and I was like, it's kind of like a lottery because you hit 500, you're always going to get at least 1 out of 500. That's the fun part about wholesaling. So you're going to be able to go do it, right? So what I think everyone should be doing here is just ignore the distractions, ignore the noise, ignore these temptations around you. Just focus on finding sellers, locking up deals, and selling the contracts. Everything else is going to be just this foo-foo, crazy stuff getting hit. Oh, man, you got to do the PPL. You got to do novations. You got to do subject to. Guys, eliminate everything. Just focus on your singular vision of just making money, wholesaling real estate, finding a discounted property, locking it up, going through freeholesaling.com, joining the communities that we have for free, selling that deal, you're going to be good to go. So a lot of kids call it going ghost, going monk mode, going baller, whatever it is in the future. But if you're willing to eliminate all your distractions, your TV, your TikTok, your social media, and just focus on